morning, guys. Today we are going to show you our process for milking our cows, our dairy cows. So first we are actually cleaning the udders off so that we know that they're good and sterile and clean. And then I know you want some milk. So now we squirt a little bit out of each udder so that we know that we're getting fresh milk out.
That's good. Alright, now we can hook her up. Find her stuff.
And then we will hook her up to our milking machine.
You hold your cast back.
Hey, Mom, your boobies are solid.
Hit your cast back.
They're solid. That means they're full of milk and ready to be milked. Hold your calves. The calves are hungry. So we have 3 dairy cows. I don't know if you watched our animal video, but we milk 2 out of those 3 dairy cows. This is Chloe. She is getting milked first. So this is our milk machine, and we make sure it's got a good suction. It's super loud, and then we attach them to the udders.
Put it on there. Put it in there. Milk coming in right there.
Yeah,
Right there.
The milk is coming in. He's hungry, isn't he? We have to massage the udder so that more milk will continue to come out.
Slightly pull down on these 2 and it helps some of it, helps pull it out better.
Clarabelle's waiting her turn. Are you ready to be milked, girl?
Put it on.
Now it's time to switch to the back udders. This is Clarabelle, and Clarabelle is one of the cows that we milk. She's our Holstein. And then Maple is wanting feed right now. But Maple is the one that is a mama cow that mamas all the babies that we have. So we'll get baby Holstein calves, and she takes them on and feeds all of these calves. So we bottle feed a few of them, but all of the calves, she will feed them. Come on, Maple. You're a good mama? You're a good mama, Maple? Yeah. And then Chloe we milk. Chloe always wants to be milked first because she wants the food. So once we get done milking, we pour all of the milk into our big stainless steel milking jug. And that is the first cow. Now on to Miss Clarabelle. She is ready to be milked. What's the first step, Weston?
We have to clean her.
Have to clean her udders. We'll get a bottle in just a minute.
We'll get a bottle in a minute, Shadow.
Shadow says I'm really hungry. Wes, how do you feel about milking cows?
Fun.
What?
Fun.
It's fun?
Love it.
you it's fine.
Is it cold this morning? Okay guys, so after Chad gets done milking Clarabelle, he's almost finished. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the bottles ready to feed all of the baby calves. So with most of the milk we feed to the baby calves, and then all of the extra is what I take home and then I pasteurize and get bottled up and ready to go to the next person, or we use it at our own house. So we use the milk for feeding the calves, and we use the milk in our own home to drink, and now we are excited to start sharing our milk with others. So we can't wait for you to try that. So now I am going to prepare 7 bottles for the calves. Chad just turned the milking machine off, so it looks like he's getting ready to bring me some milk. So we are gonna get this process going to feed these calves and get them fed. They are hungry and ready to be fed. To our family kitchen. The boys just dropped me off with the milk, and I am getting ready to transfer it to these glass jars, and they went over to feed all the animals, so they'll be back in a little bit. But I'm here by myself right now, so I'm just going to show you the process of what we do once we get home with the milk. Now I'm going to show you how we transfer the milk from this canister that we put it in after milking. We're going to transfer it from this over to these glass containers. The reason why we transfer it to these glass containers immediately after we milk is to be able to put it in the refrigerator. Once we put this in the refrigerator and it sits for the day, once it chills, the cream will separate and go to the top, and the bottom part will be milk. I will drain the milk off, and we will use the cream to make butter this evening. So that's the process of that. Now I do pasteurize fresh milk that directly off the cow. I bring it home and I pasteurize it immediately. So that's gonna be more whole milk. It's gonna have more fat content in it. This is not gonna have as much fat in it. This milk that I'm doing right now today is going to allow me to make butter. So that's why I'm doing it this way today, and it's going to give me a less fatty milk. Whenever we do this process, we will then take the milk off the bottom half of the jug, and I will pasteurize at that time. But so the bottom half of the jug, I'll show you that later once it separates. Once we do that, we will pasteurize the milk at that time. But let's get to the process of getting it in these glass jugs. So I always strain it to get it as clean as possible. You always want to try to get it as clean as possible when putting it into the jars. So our process is going to be to strain it through these very fine strainers that we have, and put it into the jar. Once we get everything off of it and we have pasteurized it, I will strain it one more time before I finalize it into the final jug. So now I'm going to take this and dump it into this strainer, and it's going to filter it into the jug. Okay, so there's a little bit left in here, but that's as much as I can get into this glass jug without it flowing over. I'll show show you that. I may have got it too full. There that is. So we are now gonna put this in the refrigerator. In a little bit, we're going to get the cream off of it. Or later this evening, we'll get the cream off of it. Hello. Hey, Weston. You ready to help me make some milk? Okay.
It's cold out there.
It is cold outside. I'm glad to be in this warm house. Did you get everything fed?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Then
Oh, don't touch that. Your hands aren't clean.
can I clean my hands?
Yeah, we just have to put this in the refrigerator now.
Okay.
Okay guys, so it is now 6:20 in the evening. Our milk has sat in the refrigerator all day long and it has officially separated. The cream is now on the top and the milk is on the bottom. So with this type of processing, I do it this way so that I can make butter and make buttermilk. But anyways, I just want to show everyone this process and then I'm going to show everyone the pasteurization process as well. So this is, I don't know if everyone can see or not, but I'm going to zoom into that here in just a minute with another camera. But you can see on this that I'll show you where the line's at so you can see. So here's the line. And this is all of the cream on the top and this is all the milk. So I am going to use this spigot and I'm going to drain all of this into one of my pots so that I can pasteurize that part. So we are going to use this pot. Let's put this down here. Let's wash my hands. So now we are going to just basically turn this on and let this start draining down. Hey guys, so here you can see the cream line. So all of the top is the cream and all of the bottom is the milk. Is that not the coolest thing? I love it. All right, so now we've turned the spigot on and we are pouring it into the pot. So when the line gets right at the top of the spigot, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. Obviously there is still some milk on the bottom part of this, but once I get all the cream off, then I'll use the milk after I do that. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and turn the spigot off. As you can see, the line is now right at the top of the spigot. Okay, so now we have separated the cream from the milk and it is time to pasteurize the milk. Not everyone wants pasteurized milk. Some people want raw milk. So what I would have done was, in raw form would have been just leaving this as is and I would sell it as is, straight from the cow. I put it in the refrigerator and that's raw form. For me personally, I like it to be pasteurized just because the way my thought process, I just want to know for sure that it's just been pasteurized. So everyone's different. Everyone has different reasons why they want to use raw milk and why they prefer raw milk, and that's great. I love it. It's awesome. So this is all raw milk right now. Once I put it on the stove and start heating it up to the temperature that it's supposed to be, that is when it's pasteurized milk. So that is the process that's going to be next. I think I've already said this, but we do have milk that we take directly off the cow and we put it on the stove and pasteurize it immediately, which would be a more fattier milk. It wouldn't, the fat wouldn't be separated in it. It would be more like whole milk. This is more, I would call this more like probably 2% milk instead of it being a whole milk, because we've taken the fat off of it. But it's still all good regardless. Okay, so here's my pot. It's all full. We're gonna put it on the stove now. This is what I have left of the milk that was in here, and it's hard to see with this camera, but there's a layer of, the top layer is still that cream. Once I get the cream off of this, I may use the milk on the bottom, or I may just discard it. This is going back in the fridge now until I'm ready to make my butter. Okay guys, so this is the pasteurization process. When I'm pasteurizing, I use this type of thermometer, and it's a candying thermometer. So I want my temperature to get to 145 degrees. So on here, it does not give me 145 degrees, it gives me 150. So I get it to 150. Getting it to 150, I know for sure that I'm getting it pasteurized. At 145 degrees, we're supposed to time it for 30 minutes. When I'm timing it for 30 minutes, I'm consistently stirring the milk. So this milk is going to take a long time to get to the 145 degrees because it's cold. It's been in the refrigerator all day long. So it's very time consuming, but I love it. I think it's very much worth it to have that fresh milk off the farm. So we're gonna go ahead and get our stove top on and get this process going. For this process, I like to use medium to low heat to heat it up. I don't want to scorch the milk, so I just want to gradually raise the temperature of the milk to that 145 degree mark. Once I get it to 145 degrees, I'm going to put it all the way on low. And on low, I even may still take the pot and move it over to where it's only burning on half of the pot, because the temperature still continues to rise even on low. Especially with my burners. My burners tend to burn pretty hot, so that's on a gas stove. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and put this directly in the center here and start whisking and getting this heated up. Also, for my time, my 30 minutes does not start until the temperature gets to 145 degrees. And it takes me at least 35 minutes to get to 145 degrees. So, very long process. Still a long ways to go. Not even to 100 degrees yet. We are officially getting closer. We are right at 130 degrees. We have officially reached our 145 degree temperature. We are now going to start our timer for 30 minutes. And I started this at 7 o'clock and it is now 7:28. So it took 28 minutes to reach that temperature straight out of the refrigerator. I'm going to continue at this temperature to watch it. I don't want my temperature to get above 150 degrees. I want it to stay below 150 degrees. Once I get to that point, I will make sure that my stove top is turned to as low as it can go. And if it starts trying to get above 150 degrees, I am going to move the pot to where it is only halfway on the burner. Kind of like that. So, but right now we don't need to be like that. We'll just leave it on the middle there and continue the countdown. We're at 28 and a half minutes right now. Okay, so my temperature is now at 150 degrees, and I am going to, I've lowered my settings on my stove as low as I can, and so I'm gonna go ahead and put that halfway on that burner so that it's only warming up half the pot instead of the whole pot. That way my temperature does not rise any more than what it is currently. Okay guys, our timer has officially ended and we are done with the process. It stayed right at 150 degrees or a little bit less. So in between 145 and 150, that was what I wanted to maintain, and we were able to maintain that for 30 minutes. So let's cancel this timer now, and it is time to do an ice bath for this milk. We want to cool it as quickly as we can. Okay, so now we are going to prepare our ice bath. I'm getting the sink, I'm getting ice cold water in the sink, and then I'll transfer the pot from the stove to the sink. I will have to drain the sink and fill it up probably 3 or 4 times to get the temperature to drop. I want it to drop pretty quickly, like it was being put in to the ice box and getting that cold that fast. So right now we're filling the sink up, and then we will put some ice in it after about 3 times of draining the water and refilling the water.
You got her.
All right, so we have it in the sink now, and while it's in the sink, we are going to continue to stir it so the outside, which is cooling off, is going to go throughout all of the milk that is in the pot.
Mom,
What?
You don't have it on.
Are you sure?
Look, it only says when it's supposed to be.
Is it on?
No!
It's not on, is it? What are we doing?
We are giving the milk an ice bath.
We are giving the milk an ice bath.
It is underwear.
That's enough water for right now.
I'm gonna get the ice.
Nope, we have to, I just said, what we're going to do is we will drain it 3 times and let that water temperature cool the outside of it off, and then we'll put the ice in it.
But I'm gonna just set the ice out. Do we have to stir this up?
Yep, stir it. Why do we stir it?
Because we want it to cool down a little because it's hot.
That's right. What's the temperature? Right under 100 degrees. So it's already cooled down quite a bit. Weston is a good little helper when it comes to processing this milk. So, you know, I said it was a long process. We started the pasteurization process at a little before 7. We got it on the stove right at 7, and now it is 8:11, and I'm doing the ice bath. Once the temperature gets to cool enough to where it's able to go into the refrigerator, I will then transfer it into the new containers. We did decide that since it is already after 8 o'clock, we are not going to be processing our butter tonight. So we will do that on another day. Not today though.
Or not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow?
No, because tomorrow, me and Shane have the rest of the day off.
Oh, you have the day off, you think?
No, because
What if I need your help?
doing milk,
You'll help me doing milk, but that's it? Well, thank you for offering to help me do milk. That was very nice of you. Think it's time to put the ice in there yet?
I think so.
Okay. Let's get the ice out and we'll put the ice in there.
You want me to get a red cup?
Yes, our red cup that we use is right there.
I'll pour it in the water.
Okay, don't get it in the milk.
I'll try not to.
His hands are clean. He just got out of the shower. That's why he's in his underwear. Oh, you didn't. The water's all draining. You didn't get it sealed good. Okay. Oh, be careful.
Okay.
I don't want the ice in the milk. Here's our ice bath. This is the last process of pasteurization before we get to put it in the fridge.
Look at the whirlpool.
So the milk has officially cooled off to the temperature that it would be in the refrigerator, and that was a rapid cool cycle. That's why we used the ice, so that we chilled it as quickly as we could. So now I'm going to strain it one last time. I know we talked about earlier how I strain my pasteurized milk so that, well, I strain it immediately whenever I poured it into that first jug before I put it into the refrigerator. That was my raw milk, and now I'm going to strain it for a second time for my pasteurized milk. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my thermometer out. It's cold enough that it doesn't even read the temperature anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this out and set it over here. We'll wash all of this stuff once we get done. And I'm gonna drain my water. This is the filter that I use to filter my milk. And you can pretty well see how full this is. It's pretty full, so hopefully we get quite a bit out of it. So we got about 1 gallon and 1 liter. There's the liter, and then the gallon is full. So tomorrow I'll transfer it to the containers that it goes in to go to all of my customers. So, but today I put it in these containers just to get it into the refrigerator tonight. I'm looking at my strainer and there's really nothing left in there. That first time straining it really helped to get all of the debris and excess stuff that might have been in it. But it looks good. So I'm gonna get everything washed up and ready for another day of this. I wanted to talk with you a little bit about one more thing in regards to this milk. So we talked with you about 2 different cows that we milk. One is a Jersey cow and one is a Holstein cow. The milk that we got today with all of the cream on it came from our Jersey cow, and the milk that she produces is a lot creamier. It has a lot more fat in it. So the milk from the Holstein is the milk that we take and put directly on the stovetop and start pasteurizing immediately. It does not have as much fat in it as the Jersey cow's milk does. So I like to use the Jersey cow milk for raw milk, so that when my customers get the raw milk, there is the fat and the cream on the top, so that they can use that to make their own butter as well. Tomorrow we will get this milk into the containers that it goes in, so that I can get it to my customers. I probably won't record that, but because that's pretty simple. I'm just transferring it from one container to another. When we decide to make our butter, I will do a video on that so that everyone can learn with us how we make the butter from the cream that we separated off of this milk today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning about all of the processes it takes to get farm fresh milk. You know, from milking the cow all the way to the very last process of putting it into the refrigerator. I hope that you like this video. Please go down below and hit the like button, and also subscribe to our channel so that you can learn more things with us on our farm.